Bull, Richard Nelson for Sunday in the Park with George, Mark B. Weiss for A Moon for the Misbegotten. And the winner is Richard Nelson for Sunday in the Park with George.
Thank you. Well, I have a few people to thank because none of us ever does this alone, and I want to thank the awesomely talented crew at the Booth Theater, especially Brian Lynch and Richie Siegel, our chief electricians, and John Hulbert and Pete Miller, who are our front light men, who have become human dimmers to make this work. And my spectacularly good assistant, John Hastings, and our wonderful stage managers, Charlie Blackwell and Fred Orner and Loretta Robertson. Thanks.
Woman of the Year won 4 Tonys, including another for Candor and Ebb. It was about a television newscaster who wasn't doing so well in her personal life. As she did on Broadway, Raquel Welch plays the newscaster, and here she asks advice of her former husband's current wife, played by Marilyn Cooper, who won a Tony for this performance.
I'll bet your friends are all celebrities. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? You can make a pot roast. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? First you brown an onion. The public wants your autograph. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? You raised a teenage daughter. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? First you find her diaphragm. Oh, the grass is always greener where some other tenant pays rent. Oh, the teeth are always cleaner in somebody else's Polident. You're always in the magazines. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? You can hold a husband. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? This mortal life and husband.
I could use a husband.
You can have my husband.
I've already had your husband.
Oh, bitches that are teary. Oh, bitches that are teary. The grass is always greener in someone else's
And of course, this season, The Rink. Candor and Ebb are telling us the story of 2 women. One who wants to move on with her life, and her long-estranged daughter who wants to come back home. But home is an old roller skating rink now long out of business. At this moment, they relive the excitement of the daughter's first prom.
Never be a wallflower sitting in a chair up against the wall, waiting for some boy to say, how about a dance? Never take a chance on it, never even once. Mustn't be a dunce, waiting for the look and hey, how about a twirl? Not my little girl. You got to stay, baby, tall and proud. Get noticed by the crowd. Shake, baby, make a fuss. And you can be a whiz the way your mama was. And not a wallflower wilting in the night. Hands across your lap, not having any fun at all. Up against the wall. Glued against the wall. Plastered to the wall.
If you want to go around with me, if you want to get some fun with me,
Your happiness can be found with me. By rolling around and and round 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 and
Well, now that you have heard some clever lyrics and lovely music from shows gone by, let us deal with the current crop of scores nominated as the season's best. They are The Rink, which you have just seen, music by John Kander, lyrics by Fred Ebb. Baby, David Shire, lyrics by Richard Mulvey. La Cage aux Folles, music and lyrics by Jerry Herman. Sunday in the Park with George, music and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim. And the winner is La Cage aux Folles, music and lyrics by Jerry Herman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. This award forever shatters a myth about the musical theater. There's been a rumor around for a couple of years that the simple, hummable show tune was no longer welcome on Broadway. Well, it's alive and well at the Palace. And so I would like to thank my beautiful cast and crew and staff, my beautiful La Cage family, for their love and support and for giving me the best of times, with special thanks to Arthur and Harvey and Scott and my brilliant musical department, Don Pippin, Jim Tyler, and Gordon Harrell. The real reward for having worked on La Cage was the joy of having worked on La Cage. Thank you.
Now, even with the scores, the characters in a musical have to talk to each other from time to time, and that's where the book writer comes in, creating the structure on which the entire work is fashioned. Nominees for Best Book are Baby by Sybil Pearson, La Cage aux Folles by Harvey Fierstein, Sunday in the Park with George by James Lapine, The Tap Dance Kid by Charles Blackwell. And the winner is La Cage aux Folles by Harvey Fierstein.
This one spins. Some saw the Tonight Show. First, I've got to thank Arthur Lawrence and Jerry Herman, who took me by the hand, changed my diapers, showed me how to write a musical. Forever, I am grateful to them. I have to thank the incredible cast, all the people that were so supportive, even the Torch Song people who kept me company, and of course, my lover, Scott, who's typed everything late at night. Thank you all. I love you. Thank you.
Well, now we've heard about musicals galore, and a visitor from another planet might justifiably think that Broadway is a theater of musicals only. And of course it isn't. Broadway is rich with playwrights, new writers, older craftsmen, and marvelous recreations of American classics. And we also have the artists who make it happen, the directors and the performers. For example, this year, the nominees for Outstanding Performance by a Featured Actress in a Play are Christine Baranski for The Wife Who Became the Other Woman in The Real Thing, Joe Henderson for The Long-Suffering Mother in Play Memory, Dana Ivey for her elegant Englishwoman in Heartbreak House. Deborah Rush for her slightly dim-witted ingenue in Noises Off. And the winner is Christine Baranski in The Real Thing.
I would prefer to think of this not as a victory over my gifted peers and friends, but as a souvenir of a remarkably blessed, I could say, fertile time in my life. The Real Thing has been the most elegant, exhilarating collaboration I will probably ever be a part of in the theater. I thank every man and woman associated with it. I regret that I don't have time to mention each name and attach an appropriate superlative. I must, however, with all my heart, thank the architects of my good fortune, Mike Nichols, Tom Stoppard, Manny Eisenberg, Yvette Schumer, Michael Oubre, and Jeff Hunter, and my three darling husbands, Jeremy Irons, Kenneth Welsh, and Matthew Coles. Thank you.
The nominees for Outstanding Performance by a Featured Actor in a Play are Philip Bosco for his Capitalist in Heartbreak House, Joe Mantegna for his High-Pressured Salesman in Glengarry Glen Ross, Robert Prosky for his Defeated Salesman in Glengarry Glen Ross, and Douglas Seal for his Aging Drunk in Noises Off. And the winner is Joe Mantegna in Glengarry Glen Ross.
Quickly, I would like to acknowledge the men of Glengarry, Robert Prosky, James Tolkien, Jack Wallace, Lane Smith, J.T. Walsh, and I'm forgetting one, Mike Nussbaum. I want to, Greg Mosier and everybody at the Goodman Theater in Chicago, David Mamet, my friend, Elliot and Marjorie Martin, and three very important women. My wife, Arlene, my mother, Mary Ann, and our dear friend Cordis, who has given us a place to stay while we're here in New York. Thank you very much.
Our second musical nominated as the season's best is called Baby. Three women meet in a doctor's office. A 43-year-old mother with kids in college who has found out she is pregnant again, a gym teacher who is finally pregnant after 2 years of trying, and a 19-year-old student who is not married.
I can't wait. I can't wait. For a whole lot of years, you might say that I've been expecting. But I always made sure I didn't expect too much. I sat around on my potential, but now that I have heard this news, it's released all these possibilities, and all I've got to do is choose. I want it all. I want it all. I want the whole female experience.
Teresa, Sally, Rachel, Steve, Paul, I want it all.
Oh no, my friends, there's no two ways to slice it. You must choose, my friends. And there are things you gain, but some you lose, my friends. Some truly lovely things.
Like what?
Like an overtone of romance, an element of surprise. The things any grown-up practical woman gives up if she's wise. I want it all. I want it all. Rise up to the heights and let the fall. I want it all. Don't try to tell me that I can't have my brother. I'll be a mother who is also a mother. I want to know that I can find inside me anyone I need. I want to be John McKechnie, someone. I want to be Margaret Sanger, Thatcher. I want it all. I want to find a way to break through every fall. I want it all. Tahiti.
I want a Grammy. I want stretch marks.
I want a pedicure.
I want Bill Pepper. I want a Learjet.
I want a string bikini.
No, don't cry. Tony Paul's got a fruit can.
I want it all.
I want it. I want it all. I want it.
I want it all. You can get into this.
We're the American Theater Wing. We established the Tony Awards, but we are much more. As president of the wing for the past 23 years, I'm delighted to report that we've continued our many programs and events, all serving the community through the theater.
Performance by an actress in a play are Glenn Close for her lovingly unfaithful wife in The Real Thing, Rosemary Harris for her eccentric bohemian seductress in Heartbreak House, Linda Hunt for her sanely intelligent performance as a showbiz agent in End of the World, and Kate Nelligan for her coarse peasant woman with the soul of a young girl in A Moon for the Misbegotten. And the winner is Glenn Close in The Real Thing.
I owe Earl Kirby $50. I want to salute my fellow actresses who I share this category with. I'm deeply honored to be with them. I'm deeply honored to accept this. The Real Thing has been the greatest experience in my career so far. I want to thank Jeremy Irons, my supremely talented and generous co-star, all our cast and crew, and my family in Greenwich and Big Piney. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm so very happy to be here. We have had some remarkable performances on Broadway this season, and the nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Actor in a Play are Rex Harrison for his aging philosopher in Shaw's Heartbreak House, Jeremy Irons for his highly intellectual British playwright in The Real Thing, Calvin Levels for his poorly prepared student desperate for an education in open admissions, and Ian McKellen for his one-man love letter of a show, Acting Shakespeare. And the winner is Jeremy Irons in The Real Thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm honored to be singled out amongst the extraordinary performances I've seen from other actors here on Broadway this season, both those nominated and unnominated. Thank you for that. I would also like to say that it's the happiest 8 months of my life professionally. That is thanks to Mr. Nichols and Mr. Stoppard for asking me to do it, to Mr. Eisenberg for running a wonderful show. What a good man he is. Thank you, Glennie, for really providing as much of my performance as I provide myself. Thank you also, I would like to say, to my colleagues who I miss in England, who for the last 15 years have prepared me to take you on Broadway. And lastly, but by no means leastly, thank you for running my family as well as your own career. Thank you, Sinead.
The nominees for Outstanding Direction of a Play are Michael Blakemore for Noises Off, David Laveau for Moon for the Misbegotten, Gregory Moshe for Glengarry Glen Ross, Mike Nichols for The Real Thing. The winner is Mike Nichols.
In the tradition of Tony acceptances, I would like to thank the Lord and Sam Cohen. However, this may be heresy, but Sam Cohen has appeared to me. He is my friend and my agent, and I thank him. I thank our brilliant cast, who made rehearsals as much fun as it is to go to the Plymouth Theater at night. I thank our great designers, Tony Walton, Theron Musser, and Anthea Silbert, for making the stage look magical. I thank my co-producers, Manny Eisenberg and the Schubert Organization. Our two great stage managers, Martin Herzer and Alan Hall. And of course, last, in the company, and most of all, Tom Stoppard. It doesn't seem entirely fair to receive this and also get to be Tom's friend. I'd, last of all, like to thank my wife, Annabelle, who stuck with me through thin. Max and Jenny, go to bed.
Another 100 people just got off of the train and came up to the ground.
While another 100 people just got off of the bus and are looking around.
And another 100 people who got off of the plane and are looking at us.
Who got off of the train and the plane and the bus maybe yesterday.
This is three strangers.
There are many things one might say about Stephen Sondheim and his work, but among them is not that he settles for easy.
You don't check your mind with your coat when you buy your ticket for a Sondheim musical.
The first Broadway show that carried a Sondheim credit was West Side Story.
Although he's known far and wide today as a composer, he began his sprint to fame as a lyricist.
Could be, who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away, soon as it shows. It'd make him cannonball it down through the sky, gleaming its eye bright as a rose. The next show that sported Sondheim lyrics was A Fabulous Gypsy, with music by Julie Stein.
Of course, we all remember Everything's Coming Up Roses, but the number I found most informative was the one sung by the stripper.
You can pull all the stops out till they call the cops out. Grind your behind till you're playing. But you gotta get together if you want to get a hand. You can sacrifice the sack row, working in the back row, bumping a dub till you're dead. Kids, you gotta get a gimmick if you want to get ahead.
Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone, a comedy tonight.
But Sondheim wanted more. He wanted to write the lyrics and the music.
So in '62, he wrote the whole score of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Nothing with kings, nothing with crowns. Bring on the lovers, liars, and clowns.
Sondheim's next musical.
Anyone can whistle.
A satirical attempt to deal with some of the world's problems.
As George S. Kaufman once remarked,
Satire is what closes on Saturday night.
And of course, it did.
But Anyone Can Whistle left us some wonderful songs.
Did you hear? Did you see? Is a parade in town? Are there drums without me? Was a parade in town? 'Cause I'm dressed at last, at my best, and my banners are high. Tell me while I was getting ready, did a parade go by?
Sondheim next trained his sights on marriage. Specifically, marriage among slightly jaded, blasé New York sophisticates. Ultimately, the need not to be alone appeared to be the deciding factor, and most of the musical's characters opted for company.
Company was the name of the show, but some members of the company had lingering doubts.
Pardon me, is everybody here? Because if everybody's here, I want to thank you all for coming to the wedding. I appreciate you going even more. I mean, you must know there's better things to do and not a word of it to Paul. From Paul, you know the man I'm going to marry, but I'm not because it wouldn't ruin anyone as wonderful as he is. Thank you all for the gifts and the flowers. Thank you all. Now it's back to the showers. Don't tell Paul that I'm not getting married today.
Somebody hold me too close. Somebody force me to care. Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive. Being alive. Being
Now, the nominees for the outstanding reproduction of a play or musical are American Buffalo, a play about society's dispossessed, The Inarticulate Losers, written by David Mamet, an American in his mid-30s. Death of a Salesman, the classic American tragedy written by Arthur Miller 3 years before David Mamet was born. Heartbreak House by George Bernard Shaw, written in the years surrounding World War I, a condemnation of a society rushing to embrace apocalypse. And American playwright Eugene O'Neill's A Moon for the Misbegotten, which takes a soul-searching look at the terror and loneliness of living and the occasional human contact which makes it bearable. And the winner is Death of a Salesman. Mr. Whitehead cannot be with us this evening, as he is working in Australia, Mr. Whitehead is, and Mr. Stevens is preoccupied in Washington. Our congratulations to them. In 1927, Florence Ziegfeld built a magnificent Art Deco theater which bore his name. In 1968, it was torn down, and there were many in show business who felt a chilly wind, among them Stephen Sondheim. His next musical was called Follies, and the set was a partially demolished theater in which show business hopefuls rehearsed.
I'll go anywhere. I was up all night painting these legs. I'm just a Broadway baby, working on my tired feet.
42nd Street to be in a show. Oh, a Broadway baby, learning how to sing and dance, waiting for that one big chance to be in a show. Gee, I'd like to be on some marquee, all twinkling lights, a spark to pierce the dark from Battery Park to Washington High. He changed someday, maybe, if I stick it long enough, I could get to strut my stuff and be in a show. Hey, Mr. Producer, I'm talking to you, sir. Hey, Alex, Jerry, everybody get off the phone. I don't need a lot, only what I got. Just a tube of grease paint and a bottle spot. I bet you didn't know what you had when you wrote this one, Steve. Another key change. All my dreams will be repaid. I'd even play the maid, working for a nice man like a sick man or a white man in a great big Broadway. You gotta
The choreographer of Follies, Michael Bennett, won the Tony that year. Now, the nominees for Outstanding Choreography this year are Wayne Cilento for Baby, Graziella Danielle for The Rink, Danny Daniels for The Tap Dance Kid, and Scott Salmon for La Cage aux Folles. And the winner is Danny Daniels for The Tap Dance Kid.
Thank you. I have to thank our producers for putting their money where their convictions were. Stanley White, Evelyn Barron, Harvey Claris, and Michael Stewart. I want to thank also our author, Charlie Blackwell, for writing such a beautiful show, and composer Henry Krieger and lyricist Robert Lorick. My associate choreographer, DJ Gianni, who has to put up with an awful lot because I'm not only his boss, but I'm his father, and he does a wonderful job. And I want to also thank my great dance group, our fabulous dancers Hinton Battle and Alan Weeks. And last but not least, of course, is our brilliant director, Vivian Madelon, who brought the whole thing together and gave me so much help and encouragement. Thank you very much.
Little Night Music won the Tony for Best Musical of 1973.
It was the most romantic score Sondheim had written to date.
A lot of the good old 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Can there be anyone on any continent who does not know this lovely song?
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love a farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. So where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Well, maybe next
Sweeney Todd was based on the oft-told tale of a mad, revengeful barber in 19th century London. Amidst all this wonderful melodic skullduggery were several lyrical moments.
Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you, not while I'm around.
The wonderful thing about a really good show song is that long after the show is over and done with, the song still has the power to involve audiences who never got to see the original show. This next song is from Merrily We Roll Along.
Not a day goes by, not a single day, but you somewhere come into my life, and you don't go away, and I have to say, if you do, I'll die. I want day after day after day after day after day after day after day till the days go by, till the days go by, till the days go
Now the latest Sondheim musical, Sunday in the Park with George. George is the French impressionist Georges Seurat. And the park, just outside of Paris, was the stage for his famous painting, A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of the Grand Jatte, which now hangs in the Art Institute of Chicago. George has worked on his pointillist painting of the various park regulars for 2 years, and having just sketched his mother, is about to bring order out of chaos and complete his canvas at last. Mandy Patinkin is George, and Bernadette Peters is his mistress and model.
Remember, George.
Order. Design. Tension. Balance.
flecks of light and dark and parasols.
People strolling through the trees of a small suburban farm on an island in the river. On an ordinary The nominees for Outstanding Direction of a Musical are James Lapine for Sunday in the Park with George, Arthur Arthur Lawrence for La Cage aux Folles. Richard Maltby Jr. for Baby. Vivian Nantaland for The Tap Dance Kid. And the winner is, oh dear, Arthur Lawrence for La Cage aux
From the first day that I met with Harvey Fierstein and Jerry Herman, La Cage aux Folles has been the most joyous and affectionate experience I've ever had in the theater. That's partly due to the nature of the piece, but mainly to all the people involved, on stage, off stage, backstage, and in the audience. I am deeply grateful to all of them, but there's one person in particular without whom I could not have done this show, and that's Fritz Holt. Thank you, Fritz, and thank you.
Thank you. I'm here for the Salesman Company, and they join me in congratulating our colleagues who are being honored tonight. The nominees for Best Play are Glengarry Glen Ross by David Mamet. Noises Off by Michael Frayn. Play Memory by Joanna M. Glass. And The Real Thing by Tom Stoppard. And this year's Tony for Best Play is The Real Thing, Tom Stoppard.
I owe everywhere. I have to thank 7 actors, 3 designers, a director, and 7 producers in 30 seconds. That's about 0.7 of a second for a producer. Perhaps the others will forgive me if I only get as far as Manny Eisenberg and Mike Nichols. As you know, a writer with a play coming towards Broadway, he really won't get far without the support of 2 people, particularly an artistic kind of fellow spirit who will protect every phrase. And a realist with his feet on the ground who understands how budgets work, and I was very lucky to have both. Manny loved the play. Mike figured he knew how to get the overheads down to $125,000 a week. Thank you both very much. Thank you.
A particular thank you to some other partners, Roger Berlind, Ivan Block, and Byron Goldman, and a thank you to Jeremy and Christine for their kind words, to Mike for his friendship and for his talent, and to Tom Stoppard, whose graciousness is only exceeded by his brilliance. Thank you very much.
I want to say a special thank you to Michael Codron, without whom this probably would never have happened in New York.
If I had to sum up Jerry Herman in only one word, there is only one word that could be used: optimist. Now, I'm not saying that in a Herman musical, the boy always gets the girl, or this year, the boy. But if he doesn't, it isn't for lack of trying. This is a composer who doesn't recognize defeat, for whom there's always a future, and not just for people, but for countries too.
This is the land of milk and honey. This is the land of sun and song and...
In 1961, when Jerry Herman wrote Milk and Honey, it was the first musical to use an Israeli setting.
This is the land that heaven blessed, and this lovely land is mine.
Shalom, shalom, you'll find shalom, the nicest greeting you know. It means bonjour, salud, and skol, and twice as much as hello.
And Milk and Honey was nominated for the Tony that year. Not bad for a composer's first Broadway show. He won it for his second Hello, Dolly, and so did the star, the outrageous and wonderful Carol Channing.
Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life.
Don't you just love that? And there's another song just before the big rousing finish that is typical Herman.
For an instant, and his arms felt safe and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long.
Wow, 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 fellas. Look at the old girl now, fellas.
Not content with the success of Dolly, 2 years later, Jerry wrote Mame, about everybody's favorite irrepressible aunt. It was a score rich with wonderful songs.
Did he need a stronger hand? Did he need a lighter touch? Was I soft or was I tough? Did I give enough? Did I give too much? At the moment that he needed me, did I ever turn away? Would I be there when he called if he walked into my life today? Should I blame the the times I pampered him, or blame the times I bossed him. What a shame, I never really found the boy before last him. The years a little fast, was his world a little free? Was there too much of a crowd, all too lush and loud, and not enough of me? Though I'll ask myself my whole life long, what went wrong along the way? Would I make the same mistakes if he walked into my life today? If that man with the bugle walked into my life today.
Don't look in your programs, it's me. Jerry's thinking of me for the sequel. They said I could keep the dress. But I got one just like it at home. So I'm gonna keep the car. And the boys. We do this now. What do you think?
Your special fascination proved to be inspirational. We think you're just sensational,
Congratulations, Jerry.
That year, Frankie Michaels and Beatrice Arthur from MAME won Tonys as Outstanding Featured Players in a Musical. This year, the nominees as Outstanding Featured Actress in a Musical are Martine Allard for The Tap Dance Kid, Liz Calloway for Baby, Dana Ivey for Sunday in the Park with George, and Lila Kadrova for Zorba. And the winner is Lila Kadrova for Zorba.
I cannot believe it. Excuse me about my voice. I don't know, disappeared completely while I was sitting there. I was working in theaters and making movies. And all over the world, but my real dream, it was always to play on Broadway. And it is only thanks to Michael Kakoyanis, my director, who brought me here on Broadway and in the film as well. And to stay here tonight in front of all of you and receive this award, it is really more than I could expect, really. And I wanted just to thank my producers, Fran and Barry Weisler, and of course, the remarkable Anthony Quinn. And all the members of the cast and crew of Zorba, these wonderful people who helped me so much with their gentleness and love. I love them because they are wonderful and talented people. And then I thank also my husband because of his love and care, and I thank God because he's my producer, my director, and my partner. I love you all.
The nominees for Outstanding Performance by a Featured Actor in a Musical are Hinton Battle for The Tap Dance Kid, Stephen Jeffries for The Human Comedy, Todd Graff for Baby, Samuel E. Wright for The Tap Dance Kid, and the winner is Hinton Battle for The Tap Dance Kid.
Well, whoa, this is wonderful. First, I'd like to thank the producers of The Tap Dance Kid for sticking it out and helping us make the show what it is, and the cast for being there, and Danny Daniels for giving me such a great number to do, and Leah Bass, who's been a great support, and Charlie Blackwell, and everyone that's just been wonderful, and this for my mom. All right, thank you.
And Dolly before it, Dear World was another about a woman of indomitable spirit.
If music is no longer lovely, if laughter is no longer lilting, if lovers are no longer loving, then I don't want to know. If summer is no longer carefree, if children are no longer singing, if people are no longer happy, then I don't want to know.
Almost 4 years passed before another Herman musical opened on Broadway. It was called Mac and Mabel. I was Mac Sennett, and Bernadette Peters was Mabel Norman. It was all about silent films. It received 8 Tony nominations, and I got to sing, I won't send roses or hold the door. I won't remember which dress you wore. My heart is too much in control. The lack of romance in my soul will turn you gray, kid. So stay away, kid.
Time heals everything. Tuesday
back on Broadway again this year with his usual positive outlook, his confidence that the best of times is now. And now, Gene Barry, who stars with George Hearn in the flamboyant La Cage aux Folles, a nightclub in Saint-Tropez.
Bonsoir, bonsoir. La Cage aux Folles welcomes you to our world-famous review, starring the notorious and dangerous Cagelle. Ladies and gentlemen, I warn you to remain in your seats while Les Cagelles perform. The management will not be responsible for your safety. And now, I beg you, open your eyes. You have arrived at La Cage aux Folles.
We are what we are, and what we are is an illusion. We love how it feels, putting on heels, causing confusion. We face life, though it's sometimes sweet and sometimes bitter. Face life with a little guts and lots of glitter. Under our frocks, girdles and chops, proving we are what we are.
Now Zaza, the leading lady of La Cage aux Folles, Mr. George Hearn.
I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So come take a look. Give me the hook. Or the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can shout out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise. I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Some think it's noise. I think it's pretty. There's one life and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what
As many nominees have been waiting for all evening. But as it happens, our audiences here in the theater and at home have seen most of these nominees tonight on this program, which should make it just that little bit more exciting. So place your bets. The nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Actress in a Musical are Retta Hughes for her passionate performance as the minister of a storefront church in Amen Corner, Liza Minnelli as the hippie prodigal flower child of the 60s in The Rink, Bernadette Peters, who plays the delectable 19th century artist's mistress and her own daughter 90-odd years later in Sunday in the Park with George, and Chita Rivera as the proprietor of a dilapidated roller skating in The Rink. And the winner is Chita Rivera in The Rink.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that I bought the bottom of the dress this year. I've been coming for so many years and losing for so many years and being quite happy about it. I decided, why buy the bottom of the dress? Nobody ever sees it. I would just like to say, first of all, thank you for this. What a wonderful honor. And I would also like to say that I've always felt that I've been rewarded all through these years because of every show I've ever been in and every face I've ever looked into. So thank you to everyone that I've ever worked with because you're just wonderful and you've made me exactly what I am, whatever it is. But I want to thank particularly those people who are responsible for my being here. Fred, Ebb, and John Kander, who promised me and gave me a wonderful show and a magnificent score, and I shall remember it till the day I die. Thank you. Terrence McNally for writing this wonderful show with such love. A.J. Antoon for directing it with dignity and pride and love. Graciela, Danielle, Theone, Mark, and Peter. I'm getting very nervous. And besides that fantastic company of ours, that's just absolutely magnificent. Thank you. This is actually dedicated to my mother, who never saw it. And, Ma, you can relax now. Thank you very much.
The nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Actor in a Musical are Gene Barry, who owns the nightclub and discovers the depth of his love in La Cage aux Folles. George Hearn as the flamboyant, caring and proud Zaza in La Cage aux Folles. Ron Moody as Fagin, the villain you love to hate in Oliver. And Mandy Patinkin as the dedicated and consumed artist in Sunday in the Park with George. And the winner is George Hearn.
What some people won't do. You call her the Tony, but her real name is Antoinette. I want you to remember. I want to thank everybody connected with the show. Everybody in the crew, the cast, the musicians, the management, wonderful. I couldn't possibly remember everybody's name. I remember my mother's name, hi Mom, and then there's Alan Carr and all of our management, Marvin Krause and Barry and Fritz, the wonderful Fritz Holt again. Specifically, I'd like to thank Theone Aldrich, who proved again the old adage that the clothes make the man. Harvey Firestein, that gentle giant, Jerry Herman, Scott Salmon, who joins the long and illustrious list of choreographers I have brought to tears. And everybody in the cast. And on one side of this, probably the front and not the back, I'll have engraved the name of Arthur Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, it's such a pleasure for me tonight to present someone else with an award. I mean that. This is an award that relates to the thing closest to my heart, and that is the celebration of the Broadway Gypsy. When I first saw a chorus line, it must have been in May of 1975. I was sitting in the theater, and before the curtain went up, I began to cry. On the glittering evening of September 29th, 1983, theatrical history was made. 1,500 extraordinarily lucky people were privileged to be sitting in the Shubert Theater when a chorus line broke the record and celebrated becoming the longest-running Broadway show of all time. That performance was a performance like no other since or before. 332 actors, actresses, gypsies, singers, dancers from all over the world who had appeared in their own country's productions of this legendary musical flew into New York and dazzled us with their especially staged numbers arranged just for the celebration. And when it was all over, there wasn't a dry eye in that house either. So, to crown that celebration, here is the first actual 14-karat gold Tony. To accept it is producer Joseph Papp.
You know what happens to people when they get past 40? Two things. One is they sort of lose their memory, and the second is thank you. I'm going to read these remarks because I don't want to exclude anybody. I think of this Tony as a golden pie, baked by many people and institutions, and therefore to be equitably divided and shared. The first big slice must certainly go to the audience who bought and are still buying the tickets which permitted us to break the record for the longest running show in Broadway history. Thank you, dear audience. Almost half of this pie must go to Michael Bennett. For conceiving the show, but especially for his miraculous staging of 332 worldwide chorus line performers at the Shubert Theater last September, which celebrated the record-shattering 3,389th performance of this unstoppable musical, an event of amazement and theatrical wizardry whose logistics alone would have staggered the commander of a division of soldiers. But the prowess of Michael's army was not especially in arms, but more in legs, in voices, in acting, in love, all coming together through the consummate skills of a highly trained and disciplined corps, capable of responding swiftly and magnificently to Michael Bennett's inspired leadership. So a big slice for those on the line. A goodly portion indeed must be reserved for the irrepressible composer Marvin Hamlisch, whose heavenly music carried a chorus line to fame and fortune. And there's a lot of Tony Pie for the men whose sparkling prose, whose inspiration and witty poetry made millions of people laugh and cry. Ed Kleban, James Kirkwood, and Nicholas Dante, the writers of the chorus line. And finally, with the emotion provoked by the words and music came the motion, the dancing, under the urgent and demanding direction of co-choreographer Bob Avian, a juicy part slice to you, Robert. And more of the same to stage designer Robert Wagner for those stunning mirrors which reflected the dancers in the striking costumes of Theone V. Aldridge, all made beautifully visible by the genius of the lamp, the genius of the lamp light, Tharon Mussa. This is a great team, a great show, and a great captain. Thank you very much.
We have already seen some wonderful excerpts from the 4 outstanding musicals that are nominated for this year's Tony. And they are Baby, La Cage aux Folles, Sunday in the Park with George, and The Tap Dance Kid. And the winner, La Cage aux Folles.
Sitting here tonight, I tried to rehearse and think, but you know what happened? It's about perseverance. It's taken 6 years to get the show on, because that's when I saw it in Paris, and no one remembers that a little man called Jean Perret, the actor, started to create those characters, and Jerry and Harvey and Arthur brought them to singing and dancing life. The Guardian Angels, all without the help, I'm just the conduit to getting this all together. These people are real estate, money, talent, and niceness. And we need that in the theater. And also, it's the only award show where people who aren't nominated show up. Hollywood, take a lesson from Broadway. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sean. I love you, Lenny. I love you, Sandy. Johnny and Laura, you're the best.
There are 100 people.
My lines! My lines! My lines!
My makeup! My makeup!
Wardrobe! I say wardrobe!
How do I look? Seriously, how do I look?
Hey, honey, give me a little kiss before I go on.
Okay, guys, this way.
Wrong way, guys.
Nice going, Melvin.
My lines! My lines!
Ba 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 boo.
I want to talk to my agent.
Let me talk to your agent.
Take it from me. You just gotta keep cool.
Positions, everyone.
Hey, no shoving. Hey, wait for me.
Hey, this place is a zoo.
Visit your zoo and see how the stars live.
1 and 2 and...
And there we are. This year's crop of winners who go to show that the lights of Broadway are shining brighter than ever.
And how appropriate that this is the very beginning of National Theater Week. All across this country, people will be celebrating the theater, and we are pleased to have been the first.
You bet. And from all of us to all of you, theatrically speaking...
As
nominees have been selected by the experts of the Tony Nominating Committee from the productions which have opened this season. The secret ballots were then voted by the 670 qualified industry voters, and the results have been tabulated by the accounting firm of Lutz & Carr.
Because the best of times is now, is now, is
This is Les Marshak. Good night.
To learn more about the musical theater, the Library of Congress suggests these books. Broadway Musicals by Martin Gottfried, The World of Musical Comedy, the story of the American musical stage is told through the careers of its foremost composers and lyricists by Stanley Green. These and many other interesting books are available in your local library and bookstore. Visit them. They'll be happy to help you read more about them.